All right, true believers, good morning and welcome to another episode of the Freedom to Draw Unsolved Mysteries. Today's case is a case of a missing person, guys. We do a lot of missing person cases here, and this one's straight out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is the case of Toni Lee Sharpless. The 2009 disappearance of Toni Lee Sharpless vanishes after driving away from a party. If you have any information, guys, on this case, we're going to show you this in the beginning and the end of this video. These are places that you can contact. They will lead you in the right direction. Again, you can drop us a like and drop us a subscribe. Drop us a comment too if you like what we're doing on the show, guys. We're going to get to case of Toni Lee Sharpless, and I'm going to draw her at the same time as I tell you about her story. Guys, get ready for, in a couple of seconds, for the freedom to draw unsolved mysteries. Alright guys, welcome to the Freedom to Draw Unsolved Mysteries. In 2009, 29-year-old Toni Lee Sharpless lived in West Brandywine Township, Pennsylvania, and was a single mother of a 12-year-old daughter. She worked as a registered nurse, but also struggled with bipolar disorder. In April of that year, Toni went through a manic episode and checked herself into rehab for 3 weeks, where she also underwent alcohol treatment and received some new medication to control her bipolar disorder, which seemed to be working well. On August 22nd, Toni asked her mother and stepfather to watch her daughter so she could go out partying with her friend Crystal Johns. Since she's a pretty young girl, and Crystal Johns was another pretty young girl. This episode was on Disappeared. And that's a good show. And that's what I know what our friend looks like. Both good looking girls. And sometimes that leads to trouble when you're a good looking lady out on the town. Same thing with good looking guys. Could get some trouble. They went to a Philly nightclub and hung out in the VIP lounge with the Philadelphia 76ers basketball player Willie Green, whose brother was a friend of Crystal's. When the club closed, Green invited Toni and Crystal to a party at his house in Gladwin, Pennsylvania, an after party of some sort. This was probably a regular occurrence every day. They had a party probably, and they invited young, good-looking women back. That's the life of a pro basketball player. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Whether married or not, that's what happens every day of the week when they're playing. Now, shortly before 5 a.m. on August 23rd, Toni started to behave erratically at the party, and after pouring an entire bottle of champagne on the floor, Willie Green asked her to leave. Even though she was not supposed to be drinking alcohol because of her meds, Toni had gotten intoxicated throughout the night and had now been awake for 36 consecutive hours. Toni and Crystal both left in Toni's 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix, but broke out into a heated argument when Crystal expressed her concern that Toni was too drunk to drive. Toni only drove about 500 feet before she stopped the car and demanded that Crystal Johns get out. Crystal, excited, exited the vehicle before Toni drove away, and she was forced to call a relative to pick her up. That's not a very good friend, but maybe she was really effed up on the meds and the alcohol, and it really changed her way of thinking. But come on, that's your friend. You can't just leave your friend high and dry like that. I don't like that part of the story at all. I think if she didn't kick Crystal Johns out of the car, we wouldn't be doing this video today, probably. I'm not blaming her, but just leave her in the car. That way you don't go off alone and you disappeared. Neither Toni nor her Grand Prix were ever seen again, and Crystal claimed there was only about a quarter tank of gas left at the time. Crystal, Willie Green, and all other guests at the party cooperated fully with the police and were not considered suspects. There was speculation that Toni may have accidentally driven into the nearby Schuylkill River, but an extensive search of the river by Texas EquuSearch failed to turn up any trace of Toni or her vehicle. So she kicked her friend out of the car, and as fate would have it, went missing. Some might say that's karma. Don't think she was acting rational at all. On September 8th, the license number of Toni's Grand Prix, DND 7772, was picked up by an automated license plate reader in a neighborhood in Camden, New Jersey, located about 20 minutes southwest from Gladwin. When the news reached the West Brandywine Police Department, they performed a search for the Grand Prix in Camden, but were unable to locate the vehicle. Toni's family hired a private investigator named Elaine Law. That's ironic. Her last name's Law. Who would claim that there were numerous reported sightings of Toni in Camden in neighborhoods known for having high amounts of prostitution and drug activity. This made Law suspect that Toni may have become a victim of the sex trafficking industry, but no one could officially confirm that she was still, in fact, alive. In November 2012, Law received an anonymous letter. And that letter read, "The police in PA do not have a tip line. I tried calling the Philly police where I live, but they said it was not in their jurisdiction. One of the detectives pulled me aside and gave me your name and address. In the last few days of September 2009, a friend in Camden called me and offered me money to move a car from Brooklawn, New Jersey to Boston, Massachusetts. He told me he would pay $5,000 cash, plus I would have the plates. He asked if I knew anyone 27 or 29 that wanted to paper trip, so he gave me a social security card. I drove the car back, four-door Pontiac Grand Prix, and drove to an auto body shop outside of Boston, Massachusetts. I took off the plates and with black magic marker wrote down the last 5 digits of the VIN number and cleared out the glove box. I came back to Camden a day later, and he told me that the car was not stolen but missing. He said a friend of his is a cop in Camden and got into a fight with a girl. She died, and he needed to get the car out of Jersey. About a month ago, my daughter was playing in the garage and found the box with the plates and social security card. I had forgotten all about it. The plates are DND 7772. The social security card, the SS card, Sharpless cell number was written here. And the last 5 digits of the VIN are the last 5 numbers of Sharpless's vehicle's ID number was written there. Because of Hurricane Sandy, I had to visit Jersey to help friends clean up. I decided to drop you this letter. What happened to Toni, I don't really know. All I know is that she had a run-in with the police, and I was paid much needed cash to get the car to a shop in Boston. So now there are, with this letter, saying she may have gotten into an altercation with a police officer. And he may have been around when she died. It may not have been the cop's fault. Who knows if this is even real, though? This could be a hoax, too. It's the first I've ever heard of this on this case. It's worth noting that the last 5 digits of the vehicle ID number, which the writer provided, turned out to be correct. Law returned the letter over to the authorities, who leaned towards it as being a prank. But Law still believes that the writer might be trying to tell them something and has knowledge about what happened. And that, my friends, pretty much all the information there is on this case of Miss Sharpless. Remember, guys, we draw them, we don't solve them. But if you like this video and you have a comment, maybe a tip on this case even, you can always drop us a comment on the comment section of this video. That pretty much does it for this episode, guys. This is the case of the missing nurse, Toni Lee Sharpless. What happened to this girl? Arguing with her friend, kicking her out of her vehicle may have been the sealment of her fate. Again, if you have any information on this case or any other cases that we do on the Freedom to Draw Unsolved Mysteries, guys, feel free to contact these places. Also, Charlie Network, Charlie Project is a good one to look into too. She's probably on there. Alright, guys, that's it for this episode. Peace out, true believers. This is John, your host for the Freedom to Draw Unsolved Mysteries. Peace out.